Iran has been around for a really long time, especially as Persia. I mean, like, a really long time. Actually, come to think about it, it's technically been around for at least 50 million years, but humans have only been there for about 75,000 years. So that's where our focus will be. Sorry to the ancient, giant, majestic animals like the majestic— oh god, what is that thing? After the Neanderthals left, Persia became home to many early agricultural communities, like the 12,000-year-old Cholga Golan at the foothills of the Zagros Mountains. Many people gathered around the Zagros Mountains, probably because of how cool the name they have. Later on, the Fertile Crescent thing happened, which Western Persia was technically a part of. And what did they like to do so much there? That's right, building cities and empires. Susa, a major city throughout most of Persian history, was founded in the year negative ton, also known as 4395 BC. Susa was on par with many other major cities in the area, like Ur, Uruk, Babylon, and Nineveh, in that they're bustling cities filled with people who are now dead. The Neo-Assyrian Empire, so called because it ended 26 centuries ago, had made some incursions into southwestern Persia, and during the age of classical antiquity, named so because all the antiquities weren't nearly as good as the original, after many other Persian empires before it, the Assyrian king Ashurbanipal sacked the city of Susa, ending Elamite rule in the region. This scared the shit out of many Persian tribes, so they decided to unite into the Achaemenid Empire. Now, Ashurbanipal had effectively awoke the Persian sleeping giant. It's just that he was kind of dead by the time it happened. But I do mean giant, because they created an empire that stretched from Greece and Egypt to the Indus River. That's f***ing huge! This was about the size of Alexander the Great's empire, but that wasn't a coincidence. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. The Achaemenids established a political system where conquered empires, like Egypt, could keep their local leaders, in exchange for recognizing the Persian Shah as the above-all ruler, which meant that the Shah would be known as the King of Kings later on. In fact, after allowing the Jewish people to finally return to their homeland from Babylon, where they were exiled for a couple hundred years, King Cyrus the Great, or Kurush in Persian, became the only non-Jew to have ever become Messiah. The Persians also established a protected road network to get between cities around 10 times faster than before. Not long after its foundation, the Achaemenid Empire decided to invade its neighbor to the west, Greece. You'll notice a distinct pattern in Persian history where Persia was never really at peace with its western neighbors, be them Greeks, Romans, Arabs, Ottomans, Vulcans, etc. Persia attacked the Greek city-states so much that it inspired a foot race and a Zack Snyder movie. Eventually, the Greeks got pretty tired of this, and after King Philip II of Macedon conquered all of Greece, he planned to invade the entirety of the Persian Empire. But he couldn't do it due to one minor change of plans, in that he was now dead, so his son did it for him. His son was the famous Alexander the Great, who, taking advantage of the Persian navy quelling a rebellion in Egypt, landed on the western coast of Anatolia, then proceeded towards his first fight at the Granicus River, cutting out the city of Gordium, before proceeding to and he's conquered all of Persia. Oh well, everyone wants to go home but me, so, maybe I can rule what I have, I guess, he said before dying of Babylon while thinking of conquering Arabia, but not before founding new cities, and naming all of them Alexandria. Hello, welcome to Alexandria International Airport. How may I help you? Hello, I would like to go to Alexandria. Alright, gate C6, flight from Alexandria to Alexandria, Alexandria Air, but you'll have a layover in Alexandria first. His empire lasted about as long as he did though, but he only lived 32 years, and it was quickly cut up due to its sheer size. The Seleucid Empire lasted a couple hundred years before it was taken over by the Parthians. Around that time, the Romans conquered the entire Mediterranean and gave it its name, and eventually became rivals with the Persians so long that the Parthian Empire collapsed and handed the war over to their successors, the Sasanian Empire. And then later, the Roman Empire split up in two due to its vast size, and the eastern half became the Byzantine Empire, at least to historians, they still consider themselves Romans. The war lasted a total of 700 years, until Persia was finally conquered in the 640s by the Rashidun Caliphate, the Umayyad Caliphate, the Abbasid Caliphate, which stuck around for about 500 years, until its capital Baghdad was conquered by the Mongols. The Mongol Empire didn't last nearly as long, and by 1370 the Mongol Ilkhanate became the Timurid Empire, and then the Safavid dynasty, and then the Afshari dynasty, then the Zand dynasty, then shifting into the modern era with the Qajar dynasty, which lasted all the way up to 1925, with the Pahlavi dynasty taking over, also known as the Imperial State of Iran. All was well and normal, however, in the 50s, Iran decided to nationalize the British oil fields in their land. So, Britain decided to do what all other countries do, whine about it to a former colony. Hey, America, what do you want? Iran's taking over my oil fields. So what, maybe Iran's just tired of your bull too? No, it's different. It's much worse. What do you mean? They're having
a communist revolution.
And same as before with Guatemala.
Commie! Commie!
Yeah, go get him, Dwight.
Unfortunately, they weren't communist. Like, at all. Seriously, there were no communists. Well, maybe that one guy over there— oh, f***, everyone's dead. No, but the government was rearranged from a democracy to being ruled by a Western-friendly but authoritarian Shah, which they already had. They just simply vastly expanded Mohammad Reza Shah Pahlavi's power. However, most Iranians didn't like this, at all. So in 1979, one man named Ruhollah Khomeini, yes, that guy, decided to start the Islamic Revolution, and overthrew the authoritarian regime with another authoritarian regime. During the interim government period in 1979, the Iranian hostage crisis started, in which workers from the US Embassy were taken hostage, until a Canadian could rescue them, and they were returned around the time Reagan was sworn in after the Algiers Accords. Coincidence? I think not. Since then, Iran has been hit by sanction after sanction to the point where it actually doesn't affect their economy as much anymore. Then there were several decades of nuclear suspicions, Saddam Hussein was a dick in the 80s, and general appearances of hostilities and widespread suspicion of Iran. But Obama made a deal with him, I guess. Hopefully it gets better. Yeah, Iran's had a rough 2,000 years, I say as an Ashkenazi Jew. Thanks for watching my attempt at a Bill Wurtz-inspired video about Iran, a country I still don't know very much about. Anyways, if you learned something, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more every Sunday. And I will see you in the Sunday after next Sunday. Yeah, I'll be out of VidCon later this week, so yeah. Say hi to me if you see me.